said, hello, 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 and I hey now. And I hey now, and I say, oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I used to catch heat for doing hey nows too much at the beginning of the show. So I started doing more of them. That's right. I started doing more. People complain about what I'm doing. I'm going to do more of it. That's the kind of person I am. Just ask my wife. She'll tell you. She'll tell you. Welcome to
Secret
this.
to a long-term marriage.
That's right. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us happily married. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of The Line here on Talk 99.5. It is a busy week for myself. I got the Trans Orchestra at that thing's at the BJCC. I didn't know.
Legacy Arena, probably.
I guess.
Full, yeah. That's where I've seen them every time I've gone.
I thought I was going to like the Alabama Theater. I thought it was going to be a smaller venue or something.
No, this is pretty big concert stuff.
Because I let my wife coordinate all that. I didn't know anything about it. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited about it, but I don't really know what to expect.
Big time rock show is what you're gonna get.
Yeah. All I know is just to be there and to probably like bring a flask with me, because I'm not gonna pay $16 for a Jack and Coke.
Yeah, don't blame me for that.
You know what I'm saying? I'll pay $10 for a Coke and then mix my own Jack in there. That's what I'll do. But yeah, we're going to do that tonight. Trish is planning several things for us to do, like Christmas stuff. Tomorrow night podcast. Friday. What's Friday? My kid's in that UAB band thing that it's almost like a band camp that then turns into some like a concert on Saturday. I don't really know how to describe it, but I got to get him to and from UAB. It's one of those things where it's kind of the first time you're just dropping off your kid by himself within a big kind of, like area. Like UAB is a pretty big campus.
Oh, yeah.
I've never dropped my kid off in downtown Birmingham before and just let him go by himself, but that's what we're going to do this time. And I mean, he's going to be with a group of people, and so he's going to be able to navigate. And at the end of the day, it's like, he's got a cell phone. If you get lost in the city, call me. I'll come get you. I should be right down the street.
Good news is Birmingham is pretty much just a grid, so,
That's right. You can figure it out, kid. You can figure it out. He's almost 16. He'll be 16 next month. And then he's going to be a driver, which is crazy. He did good in the Christmas parade last night.
Oh, he was driving in the Christmas parade?
No, he was walking, but he was drumming.
Just checking.
He was his band was in the Christmas parade, and so they did.
Very nice.
They did a good job. What else? I think that's all I've got on the slate. Got another podcast Saturday. We had to move everything around. Oh, on the way in, I ended up hearing this flapping from the side of my car. Like, the flapping noise, like some slapping up against your car.
Sure, I've heard it.
And I'm like, that ain't good. You never want to like be driving down the interstate and start hearing a weird noise from your car. I'm very in tune with any weird noises that happen with my vehicle. Like as soon as it starts, I'm like, oh God, here we go. And so I heard this flapping, and I look out my side mirror, and I see this. It's like a piece of rubber that's halfway off. It's at the bottom of the window, and it's just flapping. So I got to figure out now, do I rip that off or do I try to put it back? It almost looks like it's deteriorating a little bit. Like it's just old. I think what it is, where I don't know the technical term for this, but you know how when your windows come up, there's those two little rubber seals that kind of press against it.
Yeah.
As it rides
I know what
up.
you're talking about.
It's that, but the one on the outside. So how
Wow, that's kinda
important
loose.
is that?
It's kind of important because if you take that out, it'll allow rain to get down into the workings, which I'm assuming
Is already
is a
happening.
power window.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of falling apart. Anyway, it looks like it's just deteriorating, and that's why it's separated. But is
How
it
long have you had the car?
I mean, it's an '01. I mean, sorry, I'm 21, but I got it like not this past August, but the August before.
Okay, so you've had it for a while, which means
But
any
it's
kind
out.
of warranty that you might have had buying it used even is done.
Yeah. I don't think I got any kind of warranty on it.
It might be worth doing a little check and see how much it would cost to get one of those replacement ones. Because
It's just.
I think you really ought to have it.
It's just a piece of rubber.
Yeah, I know, but
Like,
it's helping protect all that stuff that's down in the inner workings of the door.
yeah. Tanya says there's a clear bag policy for Legacy. Well, that's why you put that flask down the front of your pants.
It's not metal, is it?
No, I actually bought a plastic one
Okay, there you go.
just for this reason in
Yeah,
particular.
you just put that in your back pocket, you'd be all right.
Yeah, you put it in the crotchal area, a place that they won't venture, just to make sure, even if they got a pat down at the door. But yeah, I don't. It seems like a very simple, thing. But I don't. I mean, does anybody sell them? Like, how do you install them? Do you just glue it on there? Do I take what I've got now and just glue it on there? Because I can't just leave it flapping. It's eventually
you
just
can't.
going to come off altogether.
Yeah, well,
So
I don't know. Cars are a little different.
mm.
I don't know.
Well, and this thing is like, this is kind of what do you call it? I mean, this is kind of a universal thing. Like, all cars have these.
Oh, yeah, they do. Some of them are
So-
put on a little bit differently than others, though.
And obviously the size is going to be different depending on the car.
Sure.
I need to know the name of that so I can Google it. Do I just call it the window flap? The rubber window flap thing. Because yeah, we don't want rain getting down on my door. As soon as I can find out the word for it, I can get to the bottom of it. I can start Googling and YouTube and figure everything out. But y'all gonna have to help me out on that. Help a brother out. Because I don't need rain down on my door, cools. Anyway, let's hit the Hey Now roll call, shall we? Going back to our early birds. Good Lord, at the early birds. We got Bo, we got Dr. McReady in Mississippi, we got Mark and Freight Pilot, and we do have a winner. And the winner of today's Hey Now roll call, who gets to pick the first song of the day, somebody that I believe has got it figured out. It is Carrie Cook. Hello. Good job, Carrie. Good job. Congratulations. You get to pick the song. Just don't pick something stupid. James at number 2. Maggie at number 3. Then you got Hell Yeah, Ricky, Ron in Corpus Christi, Texas. You got Hippie with the J's. You got Heath, Jeff with the J's. Leslie with a Hanau. You got Kevin, Jeremy, Neal, Christy, Bubba Rumble, Shane, Trent, Bree, Jesse, Rhonda. Hello, everybody. Weather stripping. There we go.
I got to be careful. That might be the stuff that goes around the door to seal the door. So you got to watch out for that.
Oh. So, yeah. Door window seal.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to see if I can't find the right way to look that up for you.
Let me see. If I go 2021, and I already know the texts are coming in. Andrew, you have so many car problems. Listen, I don't need criticism right now. I need your help. Okay? 2021, Hyundai Santa Fe. What did I call it? Door window seal replacement. Let's see what this looks like. No, yeah, that is also that's the outside. That's the rubber that's inside the door. That's not what I need. Oh, here we go. This no, is this it? This says door window belt weather strip, left front. I think this is probably it. It's $83 for a piece of rubber. Front. Let's see. Passenger right. I need passenger left. Where are you at? Front right. What the rear left? There we go. Oh, on eBay for $20.
All right, Billy just said it's called a belt molding.
A belt molding?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not looking at the right thing. This what I'm looking at sure looks like it though.
For
Maybe
$20?
then. No, never mind. I don't think that's it. I can't tell. I'm gonna have to. I gotta reach out to my boys at Work Trucks and get them to tell me what it is and help me find one. They've always been able to save me. Surely they know the answer to that. So, but I should be able to. Should I be able to rip it off now and just like I'll probably be okay until I find one, or
I'd go down and talk to the guys down at Work Trucks, find out how long it would take for them to get a replacement before you go ripping that thing off.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean it's already off. It's halfway off.
Yeah, halfway.
So maybe I just rip it off.
We're expecting rain on Saturday.
Oh, that's good.
It's not a big chance, but
I'll just put a tarp over my car every time it rains.
There you go.
That's what I'll do. I'll just put
Drive
a tarp
around town with a tarp on your car.
Yeah, I just put a tarp over that window. I think that'll be all right. So I'm just gonna take it off, I guess. But somebody help me find one of those. Send me a link, cousin. All right, a lot to get to today. As usual, if you want to get in, 205-545-9950. 545-9950.
Who was the person that got in first?
Carrie Cook.
Carrie, okay. Got to send us your song, Carrie.
Carrie, send that song, buddy. We'll get it when we get back on the other side. So, yeah, people make fun of me because I bring my problems to air, but you should see the text line. I got a lot of advice. Richard the Cop says Joe Hudson Body Shop. I think I know. I think I know somebody that works there, actually. But I don't need that. I don't need to take it to a body shop, do I? And get a $500 bill for a piece of rubber. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh no. I just need somebody to help a brother out. Give me a link to buy that bad boy and a link to watch it on YouTube. Unless y'all want to come down here and fix it while I'm doing the show, you're more than welcome to do that. I'll tell you where I'm parked. Kevin says weather stripping. Roger says window trim. Robbie says weather strip. Jamie says Gorilla Glue until you can replace it. Am I going to be able to get it back off if I Gorilla Glue it? Because I got to be able to get it back off, don't I?
Yeah, I would presume so.
I don't know. Tracy says, sounds like somebody was trying to break into your car. Well, they did an awful job of it. No, I mean, if you look at the piece of rubber, it's like, you can tell it's deteriorating. Like, it's just old, and it's kind of, it's lived a long life, and it's ready to go. And that's why it's hanging out. Caleb says it's called weather stripping as well. Justin says it's called the window rubber seal thingy.
That's a technical term.
It's actually, that was my first thought. Brian says, I caught the end of your car issue. If it is the rubber at the bottom of the window on the door, it's called a belt molding. Okay, so there's another belt molding. So maybe that's it. Rubber window weather seal. Craig says rain can get into your door. It has drain holes at the bottom. If I guess he's saying if rain gets in your door, it has drain holes at the bottom of it. Your door glass is not watertight. So is he trying to say that it's not that big a deal if I take it off?
No, that's still a big deal. I mean, yeah, it'll go through it, but it's going to do damage on the way through.
Bubba says dust wiper might be the name of that seal.
I don't think I've ever heard it called that.
Daniel says it's just for Sarah Hyundai, and they will know what it is. Highway 11 in Trussville. Let's see. Sarah says nobody cares. OMG. Well, Sarah's having a bad day. Maybe it's that time of the month. I'm sorry, Sarah. Amanda says take it to AutoZone. Michael says go to a glass place that works on windows. And then Mitch says there's usually a thick plastic sheet between the outer and inner door to protect the window and the window meter and regulator. I would think that they probably got some of that stuff in there with it being a newer car, I mean, who knows? Who knows? But we'll get to that. But I've already had some people text me, so I just got confirmation that is the belt molding. So congratulations for y'all that said that. You got it right. My boy Ryan at the Gunter Body Shop up there in Jasper. Is it Jasper? I think it's in Jasper. Yeah. He texted me. Yeah, you remember those are the guys that when we had handicap gates.
I do remember that.
Those are the guys that saved my life on that. I took it up there. They got it done. Looked brand new, and boy, that was a low point in my life after I hit that handicap sign, and I had to drive all the way from Helen, Georgia, back to Birmingham. And everybody, and Trish was making fun of me the whole time because I was watching people as they passed by, and every one of them was staring. And she's like, "Look, that person's staring."
Thanks for helping.
Yeah, it drove me crazy, dude. It drove me crazy. So yeah, we're getting to the bottom of it. Ryan, appreciate you, buddy. He's gonna hook me up with that, and if that's the case, if we've got it nailed down and we know where it's at, we can just rip that Band-Aid right off. And I'll just put a tarp on the side of my car if it rains. That's the route we're going to go. All right, so headlines for the day. One that piqued my interest the most was um, pipe bomb suspect Brian Cole. We've talked a lot about him. We've talked about the U.S. attorney that's going to be prosecuting this guy, a real scumbag. She's one of the big J6 prosecutors when it came to Michael Flynn, when it came to Cindy Powell, when it came to the Proud Boys. She and her office set up evidence. They attempted to get the accused to lie under oath so they could then hem him up with more charges. This is a really, really bad person. She's supposed to be bringing us justice when it comes to Brian Cole, and I don't expect that to actually happen. So this pipe bomber deal is going to be quite a long process. You need to go ahead and brace yourself. But we're learning new information about him. One piece of information which caught my eye is that he had a strange online obsession with My Little Pony. This is the first I've heard of this. Brian Cole, 30, was taken into custody Thursday, charged with the use of an explosive device, blah, 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 blah. It says that Brian was seemingly obsessed with the toys, the My Little Pony toys, marketed at young girls, creating art of plastic pony dolls, remixes of songs about them, and writing fan fiction dedicated to them. His works are spread across various social media accounts linked to Cole's email address and phone number. You know what that means? The same people that are into My Little Pony, and I'm talking about adults, the adults that are into My Little Pony are the same adults that are furries. And that right there should raise some alarm bells for a lot of people. We've been hearing a lot about furries lately, and that brings up some questions. So Brian Cole, January 6th pipe bomber, was obsessed with the My Little Pony toys. Marketed towards young girls. He created art of plastic pony dolls, remixes of songs about them, and wrote fan fiction dedicated to them. He's put his work all across different social media accounts. A posting on iDelta Velocity, Cole apparently uploaded 87 pictures of My Little Pony fan art to one forum showing various pony and unicorn characters. One is depicted with a bionic leg brace, and he appears to favor pink or purple ponies with long, multicolored manes.
Well, who doesn't?
In one post, a Star Wars-inspired pony says in a speech bubble, quote, "I'm not cute, I'm deadly," which Cole says is a line from video game Star Wars The Old Republic. A Tumblr account focused on My Little Pony art, which used one of Cole's usernames, commented on a drawing of a pony with an M60 machine gun, writing, quote, "I'd give her an RPG. What can I say? Explosions are cool." So, as I stated, My Little Pony is parallel with the furry community. I've seen it time and time again. And how many times do we have to see these types of acts committed tied back to furries? And listen, maybe we're over exaggerating. Maybe we're just saying, we've seen 2 or 3 instances of furries, flipping out. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Or maybe there's something to it. These people live online in anonymity and are able to express their deepest, darkest thoughts. And as each person does that within that community, those deep, dark thoughts come more and more to the surface. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to be a psychologist here. I'm just saying that's likely how this plays out. The males that are into My Little Pony, they are usually more feminine. I would dare say a lot of them are gay. I'm just guessing at that. I don't know. They call themselves bronies. And there is apparently a large collection of people that are bronies. And on its surface, if you take out the violence or the pipe bombs or whatever, you would probably say if you are a brony, you've got some sort of mental illness, And I don't even say that in a negative way. I mean, you've got some sort of, wires crossed or whatever. Something's going on upstairs that has prevented you from turning into a 30-year-old male adult and doing 30-year-old male adult things. And instead, you're playing My Little Pony. You're a brony. And you mix that again with the cesspool that is the internet or internet forums such as this, and you seemingly have a recipe for disaster. There's some really bad stuff that goes on the internet. I watched a show, podcast, Sean Ryan's podcast with a guy, and I can't remember his name, but he was one of these online investigator / vigilantes or whatever he considered himself, and he was going around looking into these different cults, satanic cults that were coercing young kids, teenagers, into joining them and forcing them to do things such as self-harm or kill their pets or even kill their family. And this is obviously a different story than that, but it's a reminder for me when I saw that of how dark certain parts of the internet can be And in this case, these people probably feed on that. I mean, it's just it's weird. On its face, it's weird. But now it's getting mixed with real world violence, and we have to ask ourselves as a society is what's the tie-in? What's the causation of this? What's pushing a brony to plant pipe bombs at the RNC and the DNC on January 6th, or on January 5th, should I say, and being just lucky enough to do it one day before the Capitol riot, which would have caused massive, massive disruption and massive chaos. It could have changed the entire outlook of the way January 6th turned out. Because I'm still not fully convinced that this guy wasn't coerced by the FBI to commit this act. And in my original theory of this, before we even knew what this guy's name was, it was that this guy was mentally ill, that he was courted online by people in federal law enforcement, undercover agents, and then convinced to do what he did. I still think that's a viable option. I think that's a viable theory. If you go back and you look at what his relatives said, his grandmother said that her grandson had no party affiliation. He wasn't a Trump supporter. They said that he is an autistic recluse and a computer nerd who lived in the basement of his parents' house in Virginia. And all of that leads you to believe that he can be influenced pretty easily. And if he's a recluse and he's spending all his time on the internet, there's all these different dark parts of the internet, you could easily find yourself, if you were Brian Cole, you could easily find yourself in a situation like that. On the other side, the incentive for, say, Christopher Wray's FBI, it was high. There was a lot of incentive for them to cause as much chaos on January 6th as possible. We know that they've done this in the past. We've talked about it time and time again. We've seen it with the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot. We've seen it with the Proud Boys. They don't just have the ability to do this. They actually do it. And so the question is, how involved was the FBI with this guy's plan to pull this off? Because that's the people they prey on. They don't prey on some guy that's got it together and is a former, military veteran and owns a business and is very successful. No, they prey on these people. Those that are mentally ill or that are autistic or just generally have a couple screws loose and coerce them to do the bidding that they want to do. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's as simple as the FBI, because they knew who this guy was back in April of 2021. Maybe it's as simple as, this guy, he doesn't really fit the mold. He's a black guy. We need a white guy planting the bomb, so we're not going to hem him up. He's not political. He doesn't like Trump, so that's not going to work. We're not gonna go down that route. That'll tarnish what we're trying to do with January 6th as we sweep across the country and throw people in prison for being at the Capitol on that day. Or it could be more sinister. For me, it's hard to believe that it's just the fact that, he's a black guy. Let's look the other way. It's gotta be deeper. And I don't know that I trust Kash Patel's FBI to put those pieces together. Well, I trust him to put the pieces together, but I don't know if I trust Kash Patel to actually give us that full story, because here I sit still weeks and weeks later with a story about Charlie Kirk that doesn't make any sense. So that leaves us, not just me, but you guys, people on the internet, podcasters, that leaves us to put the pieces together and get to the bottom of what exactly happened. And it's a frustrating place to be. Like we don't want to be there. We want to be in a place where we can get a press conference from the FBI and be like, "Oh crap, that's what happened. That's crazy," and take them at their word. But we can't. And maybe that's not the fault of Kash Patel. Maybe that's the fault of previous FBIs, from Christopher Wray's to James Comey, all the way back to Robert Mueller. What we know now, we know we can't trust these people. But this is an opportunity to fix that. This is an opportunity to regain the trust of the American people. And if you can do that, maybe we'll start taking you at your word. Maybe we'll start believing that you're telling us the truth about these things. And we don't have to dive into conspiracy theories and start digging for ourselves and start picking sides as podcasters are fighting over what's real and what's not. But that's going to be a long road. You're not going to be able to do that overnight. So here we are. Got a brony. Probably somewhat in some way tied in with the furry community. Plants a couple bombs in Washington, D.C. And that's supposed to be the official story. For me, and probably for a lot of you, I'm not buying it. Frosty said he thought I said jabronis. No, just bronies. Jeff says pretty sure they should be called jabronis. Dave says my daughter was into My Little Ponies and would hang out with the bronies. Get your daughter away from the bronies, Dave. I'm not trusting these people. I'll tell you, there was, back when I was on my last station, we had, and Steve, I don't know if you remember this story or not, but we had gotten to the discussion of bronies at one point. Jessica and I just thought it was fascinating that grown men would be into My Little Pony, so we were kind of, we were just diving into it. We were trying to get to the bottom of it because it's the first time we had heard it. We didn't know anything about it. This was probably circa 2017 or so. And I get an email from an actual brony. Well, no, I take that back. I don't know that he was a brony, but he was a furry for sure. And he sends me a message, and he's like, hey, I listen to your show every day. I love your show, but you've really upset me because you guys are making fun of furries. And, he went on, and I was like, at first I was like, okay, weirdo, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to message him back. And so I did. And we had kind of a nice conversation. And, it just seemed like he was kind of a normal guy, was conservative. And he just had this kind of weird thing where him and his homeboys like to, or I think he was gay. So like him and his boyfriend like to dress up, and he was like a dragon or whatever, And I was like, listen, man, to each its own, whatever you want to do. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not sure I remember that.
Well, I didn't talk a lot about it, but it's, it was just a conversation I had in DMs. And so I was like, I'm probably still going to make fun of y'all, but like, don't take it personally because you seem like a good guy. And so I heard from him a couple more times after that, and then he just kind of dropped off. I don't know whatever happened to him, but, if you're an adult and you're just kind of doing that in your free time, there's people that go to these Renaissance festivals and they dress up like in the medieval garb and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's perfectly normal. That's like a fun thing to do. Like you go do it once a year or whatever. But for some of these furries, and maybe even in the brony world, I don't know, their furrydom ends up turning into this kind of sexual kink, and it gets really weird, and it starts to blur the lines of, I just want to, dress up like a dog with my homies. You remember the Biden administration official that was into like puppy play? You wore the puppy mask.
Yeah, I seem to remember that.
Yeah, like, and that dude was like, he was into the sexual side of the furries and the puppy play and all that. It's weird, and I don't know. I don't know that you can be a furry or be into the puppy play or whatever and be a normal person. I think that's the conclusion I'm at. I just
see where you're coming from with that.
You're just, if that's your thing, dressing up as Yoshi and going to a Comic-Con once a year is one thing. But if you're doing it all the time and you've got this, it gets into the gender identity stuff. Like they're like, well, I'm gender fluid. I'm a male, but I'm also a Siamese cat. And it's like, no, you're not. I mean, we got to treat you the same way we treat the transgenders. Like you're not what you feel like you are. You are what you are born as. Okay.
Well, and the other question would be, how far are you willing to take it? I mean, you identify as a Siamese cat. So do I need to get you a litter box and feed you cat food?
Well, yeah. And some of them would probably take it that far,
Maybe.
to be honest. They'd be taking a dump right in a litter box, right in the corner of their living room. But all of that, I say all that to say that all of that is in the realm of mental illness. And when mental illness is involved, you have, in what I think, people taking advantage of these individuals. And maybe they were already violent individuals. Maybe they were already angry, disturbed people. But I feel like people in high places start to put their hand on the scale, put their finger on the scale of whether or not somebody's going to go over the edge and take actions on something that maybe they're just talking about online. Because they're surveilling all of that stuff. I mean, they're looking at all of it. They're watching what everybody says. So, again, we'll see how that plays out. It's weird, man. It's weird, and I think there's a whole lot more to that story. And also, again, guy didn't like Trump. Why did he put a bomb at the DNC and the RNC? We don't know. But he definitely was not a fan of Trump from what we're hearing from family members, people that knew him. And I kind of imagine that there's probably not a lot of Trump bronies out there. I've yet to see. I've seen a lot of different, fill in the blank for Trump. Blacks for Trump, Hispanics for Trump, women for Trump. Never seen bronies for Trump. And so that is one thing when it comes to these weird groups. If they're going to commit political violence, it's all coming to one side. We just saw a story out of where two New Jersey brothers have been charged with threatening to kill Tricia McLaughlin. Remember, Tricia McLaughlin is the DHS assistant secretary. She's the one online all the time having to explain away these cockamamie illegal immigrant or ICE detention stories. Ricardo Antonio Roman Flores, another one with 4 names. Emilio Roman Flores, twins in New Jersey, were arrested after allegedly posting to X that they wanted to torture and kill Tricia McLaughlin in a medieval fashion. They said the Second Amendment is in place for moments like this. Shoot ICE on sight. According to one of the brothers, he tweeted in a partially redacted response to a McLaughlin message, "We Americans should find you, tar you, feather you, and hang you as we did to anyone serving tyrants before the Revolutionary War." The brothers were arrested by DHS and the police department SWAT team. And these are a couple, these are also people that are apparently living online. Because this is your average 20, 30-something sloppy fat guy that was talking all tough behind his keyboard. But, again, when it comes to what prompts the violence, who's to say that these individuals wouldn't have actually acted on that and hurt somebody? No matter what people tell you, the violence comes from one side. There's only one side of the political aisle we see this crap from.